How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Immersive Podcast. We have a really awesome guest today. I've been super excited about this one. Not that I'm not excited about every conversation, but this is Miss Debbie Solaris, a woman who in many circles doesn't need any introductions. But Debbie is a very well-spoken, very intuitive gift Akashic Records reader, extraterrestrial contactee, and Debbie, I am very happy to have you on. How are you doing
Thank you
today?
for having me. Thank you for having me on. It's been great connecting and working with you and Jane and everybody else that's kind of in our circles. And I know you're interviewing quite a few people from the Starseed, or that's going to be in the Starseed conference. So we
Absolutely.
can chat about that a little bit more later. But I'm happy to be here.
I'm glad you're happy to be here, and you're coming from Colorado today. Is that correct?
Yeah, Colorado. Yeah.
Okay. I'm in Florida, everybody. If you've been watching this, where I've been filming from, although I may be going on the road soon, but I'll still be filming. That's just for personal fun. I want to go on the road in Florida for too long. So, Debbie, I know that I introduced you as an Akashic Records reader, an ET contactee. Do you want to tell, would you miss anything? Is there anything else that you would say? I know I
I'll
don't
say
work
Galactic
labels.
Historian, maybe.
Galactic Historian.
Yeah, that's usually how people know me, is especially if they attend, any of my presentations, especially at conferences and things like that. That's usually the topic I talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, I do talk about Akashic Records too, but yes, I'll say that's the only other title. Maybe Starseed Intuitive, but titles are
Absolutely.
titles. It's not that important.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
like with that. Titles are titles, but I didn't want to skip over anything that you thought was important.
Yeah.
Like, why do you leave that out?
Yeah, oh no, it's I think it's one that was given to me. I mean, I never said to myself like, oh, I want to be a galactic historian. That's what I strive to be in life. It's just, I think it just kind of evolved into that.
Never dressed up for career day as a galactic
Yeah,
historian.
I don't know how you would dress up for something like. How would you dress up for something like that? I mean, I guess you would.
How you and I are dressed right now, I guess.
I guess, I don't know. Maybe I'll fly my little Starseed freak flag. I don't know. So.
Wear some GFL clothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We click on GFL. Shout out to them, by the way. It's a link in the bio. They sell clothing for light workers. Check out their website. It's in the bio. Tell me a little bit more about the Starseed conference that's coming up in regards to what you're going to be doing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was really excited when Flo Karuna, who is the organizer, reached out to me, because a couple of years ago, I think I did his Arcturian conference. It was all, it was during the COVID, when COVID was just, rampant, or the so-called COVID scandemic was rampant, because we all know it was pretty, pandemic.
The Great Awakening really is what happened. I mean, that was.
Yeah, I think it was a Great Awakening. Yeah, but I did a conference for him online, and it was good. I had a good time, and then I didn't hear anything from them. I thought, okay, I guess maybe they didn't like my presentation, or you always have those thoughts in your head, and then
of course we're human. That form in that
sense.
Yeah,
but he reached out to me and said, hey, we're going to do this Starseed conference, and initially it was supposed to be online only, but then they decided to do it in person. So I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'd have to fly to San Diego. That's really hard to take, fly to San Diego.
I know, right? Sunny San Diego.
Yeah, it's beautiful San Diego, but yeah, it's going to be actually on July 7th, so it's just a one-day deal. And as far as conferences go, what I love about Star Code's conferences is they keep it really affordable. I mean, they try to keep it within range, of most people. I think, if you attend in person, it's $77. If you do the online, it's 44. I mean, you can't beat those
It's
prices.
absolutely reasonable. I mean, what
Yeah.
people put into these things as far as just the simple, I mean, of course, business, what the cost of doing business is to put these things on, everybody must understand. But not only that, the intangibles, the hours put in by such as yourself,
Oh,
learning,
yeah, no,
studying, practicing. It's the way I
it's
see it
just,
is almost altruistic.
yeah, it's almost like they're giving it away for free. I mean,
Yeah, it's like
but
at cost kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
I
at cost.
understand.
But I mean, because I've attended, I've participated in conferences where it was, I would say quadruple that amount,
Yeah,
to
I
attend one day, let alone,
absolutely.
the whole conference. But Um, but to answer your question about what I'm going to speak about, I'm mainly going to talk about star origins, how to connect with your star origins, how to find out more about your star origins. Because it is the Starseed Conference.
Of
So
course, yeah, you want to
yeah,
stick with that
so
theme, and
I
I
got to
think
keep
it's
it
cool.
within the theme. So
Yeah, right. You don't want to go
yeah,
there and talk about
I don't know,
CO2 emissions or climate
healing or
change or
something.
whatever.
That's a
Yeah,
part of it, but
of course.
yeah,
And that's that's great because it's funny. That's a question that just being around people in this community that I get all the time. Like,
yeah,
what's your star seed origin? And honestly, I mean, I guess as of somewhat recently, I have a bunch of people blast at me without me asking what they think my star seed origin is.
yeah.
That's not something I've ever looked into or had any kind of reading on or anything
Well,
like
maybe
that.
later in this session, our little show, we can do like a little mini Akashic reading for you.
Yeah, maybe you'll get a little more reveal on that one.
Yeah, I did a little reveal on that. Um, yeah, it's a question I get a lot. Like, I mean, I get it every
For
single
sure.
day, because I have a YouTube channel and an Instagram channel, and I'm talking about star races and ETs, and people want to know, what their star origins are, and what's a star seed? What's a freaking star seed? But my interpretation of a star seed is that a star seed is somebody that has chosen to be born as an Earth human in this timeline. Soul actually originated from another star system or another reality or another dimension. So they are usually very ancient souls,
What we would
and I
kind of
think there's
sometimes refer
probably
to as
more
old
star
souls.
seeds that are being born, during this timeline than there ever has been in the entire history of planet Earth, with maybe the exception of Lemurian Atlantis. But there are
Interesting.
so many of us now that are on this planet that we feel this affinity for star systems and galaxies, and we have this feeling that, oh, I'm not from here, I can't, so
Or
um
even just I don't belong. I don't feel I have a home, and then a lot of people find home in the spiritual
yeah,
and
exactly,
what's come to
yeah.
be known as I mean, starseed's a word that 5 years ago, if you Googled it, you may not have got a whole lot of results, but now it's out there, like millions of results, and it'll just prove positive. The Starseed conference coming up, that's in person. Now they're not just online anymore, like you said.
Yeah, I know,
Now
it's
it's
so
in person. That's an
amazing.
evolution.
Yeah, it's an evolution. I mean,
Absolutely.
just, the fact that they have conferences like these where it's so much in the open is starting to become more and more mainstream is amazing. I mean, because when I first started out doing this kind of work, I was awakened in 2012, so I had, my ET contact experience then. But back then, I mean, just the thought of having like a whole conference devoted to star seeds, I mean, that was just like not even a thought, nobody was doing that.
It would have been a fringe idea in 2012.
Oh
In
yeah,
2012, I wouldn't have. Actually, it's funny because I've gone through a few stages of like, I always say my
awakening.
switch was flipped and then maybe it was dimmed or whatever. I kind of went through a time
Yeah.
where I kind of denied my spirituality a little bit. In 2012 was a time when I was actually, I wasn't uh, identifying with the star system or anything like that, but I was at the University of North Florida
Mhm.
in Jacksonville, which is a very, very liberal type of college as far as the type of people that choose to go there. It's
Yeah.
a lot of you're more likely to end up experimenting with plant medicine than running into like a keg party, things
Yeah,
like that.
gotcha.
It's just kind
Yeah.
of that kind of school.
Yeah, that kind of
Um,
school, yeah.
but then I was playing music professionally. I was touring a lot. I was playing live a lot. I meditated a lot. I read a lot. I did ritualistic and recreational psychedelics, but still ritual. There was a time, many years, where I just, that kind of stuff wasn't as present in my life until, I guess say about 3.5, 4 years ago. It like
Okay.
hitting like a ton of bricks, but it's interesting.
Yeah, no,
You've
I
been
hear
going through
you.
it for a while.
Yeah. No, it was, I think I first started talking about my experiences and my connection with the Akashic Records in late 2000. This was in Denver. I think it was a group called Paranormal Talks.
Okay, so like
And
a group like in person.
yeah, it was an in-person thing. Yeah,
Oh, that's
totally.
cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, the Colorado has a pretty, I would say, progressive spiritual community where I would say we're kind of ahead of the game as far as
I believe you're
spiritual offerings or metaphysical offerings. I mean, we've had the celebration fair, for many years. That has,
yeah,
they feature, just like any holistic fair, they
a little
feature
more
different
open than
practitioners and things like that do different things.
a little more open than some small towns in Texas or
Oh,
wherever.
yeah, totally. Or even some parts of Florida. Although Florida, I think, is
Yeah,
getting there. I think Florida is ramping it up as far as
Florida's a little different. There's,
yeah.
we're always known as that far right, super conservative state that's never gonna progress. But
Mhm.
we're a bunch of what's what they say, blue cities in a red state. All
Yeah,
the
gotcha.
cities are rather progressive. I have no problem going around Tampa or St. Petersburg, which is a
Yeah,
large city
totally.
near here, and wearing a shirt that says light worker or whatever. Like, it's not an issue. I don't know. There might be in some parts of Florida, but
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm wrong.
So so
So,
anyway, so that's what the Starseed conference is about. And I think they're going to have Ismail Perez, who you featured recently on your show, and
yeah, it's very cool.
Althea, Lucretia. I can't remember her last name, but she's the one with the brilliant red hair.
Bright red hair, yeah.
Yeah, bright red hair. And I think Viviane Chauvet will be there. Viviane is she's actually an Arcturian hybrid, so she's not even a starseed. She's a hybrid. So
Hybrid.
yeah, so she is what I would consider to be like a true Arcturian ambassador.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's contact, and
then there's people that are actually
being a
from
part of.
somewhere else,
Yeah,
So,
of course.
so and many other great speakers. I can't even think on the top of my head right now. I should
Yeah,
know
it's
this
a big
better.
circle of a flyer. I should know off the top of my head too a
Yeah,
few of them
I
have come
just I don't
on
know.
and promoted, but I will put the link in the bio and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. If people are in the San Diego area, they should definitely stop by. And
Absolutely.
and I think it's if you'll share the link, so they'll get all the info on where it's located, where to sign up, and all
100%.
that. And then I'm going to be at Disclosure Fest the end of June, so that's June 21st through the 23rd. And that's at I hope I'm pronouncing it out. Castatic Lake in the LA area.
Okay. So also
And
in the Southern California area.
it's also in Southern California. And that's like a festival environment. So it's not like a conference where you're at a
Right.
hotel and you're going to different rooms. This has tents and it's
A
at a
little more of
lake.
a party kind of a
Party
not party,
party
a little more
scene,
of a
yeah,
party
more
vibe,
like
yeah.
music and But I'll be speaking in the Stairways to the Stars tent.
That'd be
Uh,
great.
so that'll be on Sunday, the 23rd,
Awesome.
at noon. So if people are wanting to do something fun for the weekend, that would be something to check out. And then I'm going to be participating in a spiritual retreat that's more on your end of the country, maybe not, maybe more the north end, but Connecticut,
Totally understand.
Madison, Connecticut. So,
Okay.
so
Familiar with
I'm
Connecticut.
kind of
I
doing a
grew up
cross
up there.
country deal here. So
Yeah,
this
Eddie
summer,
on tour. I love it.
yeah, no, it feels like that.
Yeah, it's good.
But it's called the Stargates Crusaders.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool concept. We're gonna be at a big beach house that used to be owned by Merv Griffin. I think that's like
That's
amazing.
kind of cool.
That's
Yeah.
kind of cool, right? And it's a beautiful kind of like very East Coast coastal kind of environment, and we're gonna be connecting with the Atlantis gateways.
Yeah. That's
So it's gonna be kind of
incredible.
cool. And
So
I'm
you
going to be
can
teaching people kind of a mini course on how to connect with their star origins and how to do an Akashic reading. Because it's just going to be like 30 people at this thing, it'll be more
a little more
immersive.
intimate.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
So people on the East Coast can also partake if they want to come into a really fun event and hang out with
That's how
them.
things tend to go. They kind of tend to spread. They start west and spread east, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
More or less.
yeah, we definitely have more like these types of deals on the West Coast or in the Western areas, but
Naturally.
I do think the East Coast is catching up. Because there's a New Life Expo in New York City. They've been around for a while, and there's other events that are occurring on the East Coast. There's quite a few in your state,
Yeah,
Florida.
just because of the Space Coast and, the taking that role of NASA's presence here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ishmael has an event, the Quantum Summit, and it's coming up
Mm-hmm.
actually really in a couple of days in that area. So yeah, nice to see any kind of growth like that.
Oh
It's
yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to do is just do my part. If I'm not channeling or I'm not running any mass meditations or healings or anything like that right now, but to be able to have conversations with people such as yourself and give you yet another platform and place to have a conversation and promote those ideas is a great thing.
Yeah, no, it's great. I appreciate your time and your interest in my work.
So Southern California folks, the links for those events, Debbie's got a few coming up. Those will be in the bio for sure, just to remind y'all of that. And that link will also be in the bio this week. Debbie, I saw you did a live on Instagram yesterday with Carrie K from
Carrie
Australia.
K.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, that was really interesting to me. And it kind of got me down like some rabbit holes.
Yeah.
And I guess now I've got some kind of questions that are a little more, starseed.
Or galactic. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Carrie and I go way back. We met at on a group called Meet Earth's Cosmic Neighbors, or MECN for short. This was back in 2017 on Facebook, and we both, I guess, became admins for the group. I don't know. There was like a team of 10 admins, I think, and both she and I were admins, and she was kind of starting to do her thing, and I was at the time just trying to get the heck out of the 3D work world. I was also practicing my, Akashic reading practice at the time, so people were starting to get to know me from that.
1 foot in one world, 1 foot under than the other. So, a little bit. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hadn't talked to her in a few years, and so she kind of reached out to me and said, "Hey, it's been a long time, sister. If you want to do something," and I said, "Yeah, let's do it live." So, and it was so well received, and we got such great attendance. And Carrie is amazing. I love her like a sister. She's just amazing,
Yeah, I happened to be on my phone yesterday and just see the live, so I was
Yeah,
on there for like a good half of it or so. I watched the other half when I had time later on. It was
yeah,
really
totally.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that
One
was a
of
good
the
conversation.
It
Did you have any
was.
questions around that or
I kind of did. It like
yeah,
threw me
yeah.
down a few spots, and shout out to Jane for kind of like, 'cause we tend to think similarly, and she had some.
Oh yeah.
We spitballed some ideas around, so we both watched that live. There's something that you said on there that I thought and we thought was interesting was that you guys said something about everybody thinks that, and I know I'm jumping from asking defining star seeds to something a little deeper here, but
Oh
I
no,
remember
no,
you
it's
s-
fine.
I remember you saying or I'll back up a little bit. A lot of people seem to think that the Pleiadians of all the galactic societies would be
Mhm.
the ones that would contact us first. And I heard that you guys mentioned that actually that was not likely. That's not
Not
the case.
likely. We're not ready for Pleiadians.
And you mentioned something about Alpha Centaurians,
Alpha Centauri. Yeah, that's the download I keep getting is Alpha Centauri.
which I just I thought was interesting. With
Yeah, and not a lot of people know about Alpha or Beta Centauri, but
they're not
Beta Centauri
mentioned
is a little
very often.
further out, but Alpha Centauri is actually located. Probably is our closest neighbor. I
I
mean,
think it's our closest star
yeah,
neighbor
it
to
is
the
our closest
sun,
star
isn't it?
system. It's only 3.7 light years. So yeah, that's pretty close.
Closer than Andromeda,
It's
yeah,
been
etc.
Andromeda is like I don't know 2000.
25?
Like
That's a
2000.
lot, yeah.
So when you think about light years, I mean that's far away. That's not just miles. That's far away.
It's
So,
uncountable distances,
yeah, I
yes,
know
absolutely.
it's far away. And that's just within our galaxy. It's not even talking about other galaxies or other universes. But yeah, Alpha Centauri has had a civilization for quite a while, and they're kind of like ahead of us as far as their spiritual and technological development, but they're not so far ahead of us that it's like, I mean, we can't
Like
even, we can't even
like the
communicate.
Pleiadians.
Yeah, like the Pleiadians or like the Andromedans, especially.
Okay.
It's like you have to almost be in another dimension to connect with an
To
Andromedan.
even fathom and be
A
able to
fathom,
make that connection.
so yeah, no, I would think that, it makes sense that, if we were going to get contacted, that, the beings that would contact us first would be like beings that were the closest to us,
In
as far as,
evolution, etc.
yeah, so
Spiritually,
yeah, or even,
technology.
proximity.
And yes, yeah, that's a factor to consider,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
of
mean,
course.
proximity. Tau Ceti is also located fairly close to Earth, and a lot of people don't know about Tau Ceti, but they have a really interesting civilization where it's both humanoids and bear-like beings.
Hmm.
So I think maybe the concept of Wookiees might have come from Tau Ceti, but they were, I would say, this group of people were just I would say I'm trying to find the right word and I can't find it, but I'm just going to say that they were terrorized by the gray aliens for millennia, and
Okay.
it forced them to become, I would say, extremely advanced as far as I would say star command, and as far as piloting, they became very, very excellent at piloting, and at fighting back, because they had to fight.
They had to, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
so the Alpha Centaurians were a little bit more scientific. I mean, they also had Starfleet and starships, but they're a little bit more scientific oriented, maybe not so much, a warrior caste oriented, but a lot of times when Alpha Centaurians incarnate on planet Earth, like if you're an Alpha Centaurian starseed, and I have done readings for some people that fall in that
Oh,
category, a lot of
interesting.
times they struggle with their spirituality because they're
Hmm.
very technically oriented people, so
Law of bigger reason kind of rules over spirituality.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
that fair to say?
exactly. So, it's almost like they don't want to connect with their spirituality, or It's very, very strange. Because they're not like that on Alpha Centauri. On Alpha Centauri, they're highly spiritual, but for some reason on planet Earth, if they choose to incarnate as a starseed, then
That may be why.
sometimes it takes them a while to connect to that, that divine aspects of themselves.
Interesting.
Chalcedians, I think also, if they're incarnating as starseeds, it might take them a little longer to connect with their star system because the information just isn't out there. You don't hardly
Yeah,
ever see any
absolutely.
information on that system.
Yeah, there's ones you hear more about than others.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
that's
everybody knows
a
about
fact.
Pleiadians, everybody knows about Arcturians,
Andromeda, you hear about,
Styrians.
we learn about it in schools, like, proximity to the galaxy and things like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. And the Bible even mentions these star systems. A lot of
That
people
was,
don't
yeah, for
know
sure.
this. The Bible
Yeah,
mentions the Pleiades, the Bible mentions Arcturus. I mean, it's kind of
100%.
mind-blowing, but,
And
it kinda
particularly
makes me
most that they
wonder.
took out of the Bible.
Exactly, that's what I was about. Just you read my mind. I was just about to say that. That there was so much that was taken out of the Bible that, was probably more the truth.
Yeah, the truth can be dangerous. You know,
Especially when the truth
that's
empowers people and your civilization that wants to keep people under
wants to
control.
ascend.
So, um,
Well, I
so
think
that
we want to ascend, and I think it's about time. I believe in a critical mass of sorts.
oh,
I
yeah,
don't know. I
totally.
don't know if that's metaphorical or if it's like literal, but I've heard plenty of people speak on critical mass as far as we need 1% of the population or we need 10% of the population. I've heard all sorts of different things and different scenarios, even like they all need to be awakened, they all need to be enlightened, contacted, meditating at once. I've heard all sorts of different theories, but I kind of do think there's some merit in like a critical
Oh, yeah,
mass
no, I
for
think there
humanity.
has to be a certain amount of people that awaken. I know the law
Yeah,
of one talks about 51%, which
right.
is to me seems like a lot. I mean, it's a
Kind of,
lot of people, and there's a lot right now that
yeah.
aren't awakened, so
And
just
then
even
that
within
makes
our
you
own circles, so
right. Yeah, those who might, I mean, of course, the seeds that they're planted, they still need a little bit of watering. I mean, there's everybody's on their own path. It's
yeah.
you see time
Was
ascension is a free overnight thing.
Was there any other questions you had about my chat with, Carrie? Because we kind of covered a lot of different topics. It's kinda hard to wrap my mind around all the topics we talked about.
So, that was kind of the main one, but then it got me
Yeah, gotcha.
thinking, like,
Yeah.
so the connection, that I went to in my head was with Alpha Centauri was, like Star Trek, because they mentioned it
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
in the show and like the movies. And honestly, I was never like a huge Star Trek person. I was more of a Star Wars like person growing up. I
Yeah,
was
me
I
too.
was all in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I've heard it said that like Gene Roddenberry from Star Trek, those ideas, of course,
And then
that's been around in the ether. That those ideas weren't original per se.
oh,
And
no, I don't think
maybe
anything is
there's a little
original.
more
I don't think
little
George Lucas just came up with the concept of Star Wars just on his
right.
own.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another one. But then I was kind of thinking like, okay, so I knew a fair bit of Star Wars just from
Mm,
growing up and
yeah.
watching it. But Star Trek more from like an analytical like study point, like
Yeah,
history of
gotcha.
Gene
Yeah.
Roddenberry and Truman, and what the realities of Star Trek are. And actually, I heard saw a speech from Ben Rich, this former CEO of Heat Works. He was
Mhm.
retiring, and his quote right toward the end of his speech was, "If you've seen it on Star Wars or Star Trek, we've either been there, done that, or decided it's not worth our time."
Mm.
And that really hit me. I was like, wow. Yeah, that's like pretty powerful.
No, I
Um,
think the technology is either, here already or it's being developed. I mean, I think a lot of the technologies that they were talking about, way back in the '60s in Star Trek, I mean, they had communicators that looked like our, iPhones today, so So
That's
a lot of that was, I think, already a concept or already probably already developed, but of course they couldn't release it to the masses, But
yeah. I mean, I guess that could go into the belief in predictive programming, etc. To
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
kind of show that stuff. Um, do you think do you have any opinion on that? Like Gene Roddenberry and Truman, and I've heard there be like agreements between Truman, extraterrestrials,
Oh yeah, that's been talked
Hollywood,
about for.
etc.
That might be a question you have to say for Laura Eisenhower.
I'd love to speak with her. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
guess
You have to get her
she'd
on
probably.
your show. Uh,
That'd be wonderful.
yeah, she's. But yeah, I'm pretty certain that Eisenhower and Truman have had treaties with different extraterrestrial races, or at least were speaking to different extraterrestrial races. So
And
that's been talked about for quite a while.
I believe you. And then just for anybody who's listening, is 5 years ago, I probably would not have. I wouldn't have bashed the idea, but I don't know that I would have bought right into it or even
Yeah, gotcha.
entertained it enough to read into it or decide for myself, which I think is really the concept of awakening is when you're fully open, when you're fully awake. It's not a label. It doesn't mean you have a shirt that says I'm a feline or I'm an Andromedan. It just means you're open. Your cup is empty. You're ready
Oh,
to be filled
totally.
up.
Yeah.
Um, and
I think as humans we like to put labels on ourselves, and people want to say, "Oh,
it
I'm the
helps.
Andromedan starseed," or "I'm the Pleiadian starseed." But actually, as souls, we've been to a lot of different places. So,
That's what I've heard in looking
get
into
out.
soul theory from people like yourself and
Yeah.
Andrew Casey and Jane Roberts and just anybody who's ever uh, put material out on this kind of thing. And I recently discovered the concept of monads. Is that something that you could expound upon
Well,
a little bit? I
and
guess.
but the other term for that is oversouls. Yeah. It's
Okay, so
it's
the
a larger
12,
soul group. Yeah.
is it 12? Is it number 12 monads?
Yeah, I think there's 12 or 13, but
And that
it,
basically comprises the oversoul. Is that how that?
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
oversouls are larger soul groups that split off from source. And so if I was to, describe an oversoul, that would be like the body, and then you have your soul family, which is maybe like your arm or your hand, and then you have
Okay.
your very, very close soul family that's like your hand. Uh,
Gotcha.
so it's kind of like it breaks down into, souls that are part of this larger group, which I do believe that most of us are part of the same oversoul, that we've all been part of
I,
this for quite a long time. That's why we're all together having this experience together.
I
But
tend
then
to
there's this
agree.
breakdown of, okay, this is my specific tribe, this is the, people that I'm really, really close to. And then there's the people that are kind of like our soulmates, I mean, that are,
Yeah,
uh,
it's not. I mean, kind of almost. Which I mean, I don't know. Maybe I mean, one must wonder just off the top of my head, is that us codifying things as we humans tend to do, or you know, or
no,
is
I
it?
mean, I
Is
don't
it?
know.
Is it?
Maybe it is
I
to
don't
a
know.
certain extent, but maybe that's
Maybe
our
to a certain
understanding.
extent, it's our
That's
understanding of it now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Maybe it's much more simpler than we're making it out to be, but
I actually think that's probably it.
yeah, I
That's the
think that's probably the case too. It's probably
just
a lot much more
going back
simpler
to
concepts. But
law of one, where Ascension is actually just everything coming back together again into
oh yeah,
one.
totally, yeah,
It's
totally.
actually really quite a simple concept when you
Yeah, it
think about
is.
it. I mean, it's not crazy.
I remember one of my clients. He's become a dear friend of mine. He lives in Colorado Springs now, but I remember he came to me for a reading, and he asked me, "So, what's the purpose of incarnation? Why do we keep doing this?" So I said, "You know what the purpose of incarnation is? It's just to get us closer to source. We're all returning back to source. We're all separating from source, and then we're getting back to source. So we go through this
Descent and
process.
ascent.
Yeah, of when we first started off, we were all soul shards of source. We were all part of this monad or this oversoul, and then with each incarnation, we've gotten lower and lower and lower in dimension, and now we're at probably the lowest point we can ever get, which is the third dimension. Because you can't get much lower than third. I mean, you can get to two dimension, but then you're a
Right.
piece of paper,
And we're on
But
paper playing stick figures. And
yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
exactly. Yeah, you're a cartoon, but then now we're starting to move back up. So it's this whole game of separating from source and then coming back to source.
And
So now we're at the point where we're working on coming back to source.
absolutely.
And so we're more than likely, I would say, once Earth's ascends, which I do believe is going to happen in this lifetime. I think it's happening as we speak, actually.
I agree.
But once that happens, then we're going to be seeing a lot of souls starting to exit their Earth contracts. And what I mean by that is a lot of us, our contracts with Earth will be finished because that's what we came here to do, was to get Earth to this ascension point. And then we're going to be returning, maybe not directly to Andromeda, but we might be having incarnations maybe in Sirius or some other star system. But, that's what was a theme I kept seeing in the Akashic Records. I did in the last, I would say, 10 years, I've done thousands of Akashic readings for, all demographics, all people around the world. And I kept seeing common themes, a lot of us are closing out our Earth contract after this life.
So that's really interesting. After this, so not like an early termination type of thing.
Oh, no,
after
no,
this
no.
lifetime.
No, we're gonna have a full life, but I think some people wish it was an early termination. Yeah, but no, it's going to be a full life. But then what I see is that a lot of us, that had contracts with planet Earth, we're moving on. We're going home. Yeah, we're just like, okay, this was an interesting business trip. Now I'm going to go home and take on some bigger projects, or or have a galactic vacation for a while. I don't know.
Meet my galactic family, whatever.
Yeah, or reconnect with the galactic, have a big galactic party in the, I don't know, Galactic Center. I don't know, but that's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great. But I think and I think that will make a lot of starseeds happy to hear this, because the sense I got from doing a lot of these readings is that a lot of people are homesick for home. They're homesick. They want to go back. They've been here on Earth for a while. It's Earth is a tough school. I mean, it's not for the weak at heart.
Earth game's not for the faint of heart.
Not for the faint of heart or the weak at heart, or I don't know, whatever that saying is. But it's a tough school, and I think sometimes it's easy for us to think that I want to be a part of this. Let me just check it out. But we all chose to be here for a reason. So
that's important for me. That's important to remember. I mean, it doesn't always offer like a cushy comforter of solace, but just even reminding
we chose those experiences
with this was a choice. This has value. This is experience, whether you want to label it or bad, it's experience, and that's what you're here for, and that's what you're doing. And if I mean, we all get feelings and gut feelings or signs or whatever we are, stage we're at, what we refer to them as. I think we're probably better than we give ourselves credit for at least seeing the signs and noticing the signs. Now, whether we follow them or not, that's kind of, I guess up in the air. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think we're very good at seeing the signs that, like, source, universe, God, cosmic consciousness, spirit. You try not to discriminate because everybody uses a different term. There's signs. We pay attention to the signs here.
Oh yeah, totally. No, I agree.
It's guided my last few years entirely, and without, like, I always refer to it as more like a magnet. I guess it's kind of pulled me, but I was just going, I would have just worked my, regular career. I was an interior designer after having almost made it in music, but not quite.
Mhm.
So still, ended up kind of doing a good thing. I liked it. It was still artistic. It was profitable. I designed kitchens, and I literally
It sounds
just
like a
had
fun
like
job,
this.
actually. I love interior design, by the way.
Yeah,
So,
I
yeah,
didn't like
that's
hate the work in and of itself. I
yeah.
just had, it's like I said, this is a couple years back, but I just had this pull to like leave in the. I didn't have any direction or anything. It's a classic
Mhm.
dark night of the soul kind of addicted
Yeah,
to my life.
action.
But it was just a pull towards all, and I only knew a few things. Like you need to really like seek your like, capital S self. You need to get back to yourself. You need to hit the reset button. You need to stop
Mhm.
doing. You need to shed. You need to rid attachments. And yeah, I mean, nothing was clear right away. But now. Over the course of 18 months or so, I remember asking a lot of your content. I wasn't trying really to or anything. I was just
Yeah.
eating healthier. I lost 130 pounds over the course of 18 months.
Oh, wow.
Like
Congratulations.
drastic physical change. My eye color has changed. They used to be completely brown. Now they're
Yeah.
almost green. Just little things like that. But I
Yeah.
mean, well, not losing a whole body weight. That's not little.
No, no,
But then the
that's
pull to
significant.
just
Yeah.
leave career and see how I can possibly serve. And so many times things have come so close to like, I don't know how this is gonna work, but I just trust them. Okay. I mean, as far as me getting by and everything, and now I'm really happy to be here speaking with Debbie Solaris
Huh.
about her opinion on the Akashic Records, and it's just an amazing
Oh,
ride.
thank
It's,
you.
it's quite a
No,
great thing. So
I'm happy that you found a path that is meaningful, and I think we're all truth tellers. We're all, here to, I would say, help to expand consciousness. And that's exactly what you and Jane are doing. You're both expanding consciousness. You're, sharing information. And, I guess the platforms that we currently have, which is, unfortunately social media,
social media, the tools we could use for good or bad. I mean,
if you are bad, but
AI can be the star net of was it Skynet in of the Terminator, or I guess people can use it
to help
to help
better this
create
planet.
beautiful music or develop clean energy solutions or something like that.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I do
Uh,
believe it.
that's part of the critical mass thing, I believe. I think if we get to a place of collective consciousness
Mhm.
as the Earth superorganism, as collective. And I do believe that we can power things like AI and social media and actually use them for good without dooming ourselves. It seems that, of course, it's been done before by other
Well, they
civilizations,
had they
etc.
had advanced technologies in Atlantis and also Egypt. Actually, Lemuria didn't really need technology. They were able to manifest, and
Almost like immediately, right? Is that
immediately.
kind of
Yeah, they didn't, and that was actually their downfall because
because it
uh,
can be good or bad,
yeah, I can
right?
do that. Yeah, yeah, they went totally without technology and that ended up, uh, I would say destroying their civilization because they couldn't defend themselves against the
Against
Atlanteans, which is really sad.
Atlanteans had
Yeah,
developed war flying technologies, according to
exactly.
what I've
Yeah,
read and such there.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind
Uh,
of
you
a
know,
Yeah, it's kind
I'm
of
sorry, what were you gonna say?
lessons that we have to learn from our ancestors or, former selves,
Yeah,
I'm sure a
right.
lot
With
of us had incarnations during
ancestors,
that time.
former selves. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, so many people identify with, and I mean, the big ones are. I think the one I hear most is people identifying with Atlantis. That
Mhm.
could have something to do with me living in Florida. So,
Oh, yeah,
there
no,
are
yeah, totally.
definitely people here speak about Atlantis. especially with Kennedy Road being off the Bahamas there. It's really not far from toward Florida at
Oh yeah,
all.
not from where you're at. Uh,
And then, Lemuria, I'm sure it's off talked about. I'm sure it's talked about even more as far as folklore goes on that for on the world. Something I wanted to ask you though, on that topic,
mhm.
the civilization of Agartha. Is that something that you are aware of? That's one I feel like people kind of don't
Yeah,
talk
people
about.
kind of talked about it for a minute. My understanding with some of the underground civilizations is that some of them were developed in response to the fall of Lemuria, that they went underground to hide, the ancient mysteries, ancient knowledge. They didn't want the
Technology and knowledge.
Atlanteans getting their hands on it. So there were certain civilizations that were developed that were underground. I'm not an expert at Agartha by any means, but
Yeah, I was just curious.
yeah, no, but
What you
I do sometimes I do readings for people that have a connection with it.
Okay.
Maybe that was their origination. And my understanding is some of these civilizations um, were devised also from, I would say, maybe old Lyran colonies that were here, after the Lyran Wars. And, then when the reptilians took over, the planet, and, they had to go underground in order to protect themselves. So there's a lot of stories like that. But no, I do believe that there
Absolutely.
are underground civilizations that are.
Yeah, that's it's again something that myself and I think a lot of people, and I just feel like there's this large group of people who have had the seed planted, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
somewhere along the line who they're just very ready and willing to start
yeah, totally.
looking into the idea that maybe there are hollow Earth civilizations.
Oh
Just
yeah,
whatever
no,
it takes to get them going down that first rabbit hole that it took any of us.
yeah, I don't know. There's some flat earthers out there too. I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe not that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I
um,
can't I can't buy into it. I don't know, but
Yeah, we can stay on the record here since it's never come up on the Immersive podcast yet. But you guys can try to knock me the
yeah,
other way,
totally.
but I'm not a flat earther. I can't buy into it.
Yeah, I can't buy into it
Um,
either.
it's
My husband's he's a
hard.
conspiracy theorist kind of guy, and he's always talking to me about flat Earth. I said, I don't want to hear it. I just, the
Yeah, it's like
scientifically doesn't make sense to me. But
yeah, like there's a couple little tweaks that they'll mention. They're like, yeah, I guess that map's interesting, but other than that, there's like a whole lot more evidence for
oh yeah, I think there's more evidence
to
against it
me for the rest
than
of it.
for it. Yeah. Do
We
you
don't
want
have
me
any
to do
proof
your
of
little stars, your little mini Akashic reading, or
if you would, that would
yeah,
be
yeah, no, let's go
amazing
ahead and
of
do it.
you,
Yeah, let's.
Debbie. I definitely likes to do that. It's something we've done. It's kind of just popped up. It was never really a plan.
No, I think
People are
it's.
willing to.
You mentioned it, and I said, yeah, it sounds fun. And you said you don't. Do you know your star origins, or you?
So I have a hunch because a bunch
Yeah.
of people have tried to tell me, but
Okay.
I don't actually know.
Daddy, it's okay.
Should I tell you what I've been told it is?
No, don't tell me.
Okay.
I'll see if I'm on track. If I'm not on track, I'm not on track. But I've already picked up. Um, I think you've been in several systems, but I picked up one that came up first. And I'll talk about that one because I read auras and I read energy. So, but we'll check into the records and see what they show us. I already have your information, so you were kind enough to give that to me
We did that
before we
before.
started recording. And usually when I do an Akashic reading, all I need is the person's full name and their birthday. And then, in addition to that, I do like to know where they're located, just so when I do the Divine Heart Triangle, I can connect my energy with theirs. So we'll go through
Makes
the
sense.
whole Akashic entry process, actually prayer process, and then we'll get into it.
That sounds awesome. It's an honor to have you do so.
So thank you. Only the highest vibrations of love and light can be in the space, and all objects in the space for the highest good of Tyler Tivador, sorry, and myself for this reading today. All other energies must leave now. I call in the highest level of the divine that knows that love is the power and the truth from which we read, the highest level guides and angels of Tyler Tivador and myself to help us with this reading. Archangel Michael, hold this space for us, and so it is. And so we do acknowledge the forces of light, asking for guidance, direction, and courage to know the truth, as it is revealed for our highest good, and the highest good of everyone connected to us. Holy Spirit of God, help me to know Tyler Tivador in the light of the Akashic Records, to see Tyler Tivador through the eyes of the Lords of the Records, and enable me to share the wisdom and compassion that the masters, teachers, and loved ones have for Tyler Tivador. Okay, the refrigerant out will test. So what I was picking up while we were talking, and then I think the records just confirmed it for me, is that I don't know if your origination is a Pleiades, but I picked up quite a few Pleiadian lifetimes, particularly Alcyon and Maya. Okay, so and that's probably why you're so connected with Jane, because I know Jane has a lot of she's got other things in her too, but she's very connected to the Pleiades. And when you look at Jane, she looks like a Pleiadian princess. I mean, she just, has that. She has that beauty, and
Pleiadian immersion pods and things like
yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah. So, and so I think with you, I do see some Syrian lifetimes. I do think initially you did some technical work in Sirius, but you were not real happy with the technical work. You're more of a creative soul.
It's funny that you say that.
Yeah, you're very creative. And I would say that's more indicative of somebody that has a Pleiadian signature. The systems that you were connected with, Alcyon, Alcyon was known for music.
Really?
Yeah, they used to have big music festivals there. I always kind of joke about
awesome.
the Alcyon music festivals.
Sounds awesome.
Kind of like I must have some soul memories about it, because I always remember the music festivals whenever I think of Alcyon. But a lot of folks that or a lot of Pleiadian starseeds that are connected with Alcyon actually have a big interest in music, usually. All the time, but usually it's music. And Pleiadians in general, you're going to find this little twist really interesting. Pleiadians love harmonious environments. They're all about balance.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to use to work as an interior designer, because that would be sort of I would say the premier Pleiadian career would be like as a designer of some sort, because they love to be creative, and they love music, they love to be creative, they love to make, environments harmonious, and that's what interior designers do. It's kind of a whole science in itself, actually, but
it's a big picture kind of thing, and
making
sure everything works together in not just practical ways, but in, visually, aesthetically pleasing ways and functional ways, and just, I don't know,
Oh yeah,
it's
totally.
interesting what you said about like technical abilities and things like that too, because I haven't told you that, but I'm like I was like a really handy person. Like,
oh no, I think you're very technically adept. It's not your great love, though. It's not.
I don't like love doing it. It's
yeah, no, it's like it's like you'll do it if you have to, but
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not your great love, and I think you're also somebody that I think you're extremely empathic. So you probably are the type of person that picks up on other people's feelings right away. you maybe sometimes to your detriment because you want to fix that person or help them, so
Absolutely. For,
yeah.
a lot of times people are, they're reflecting upon themselves, or
Oh yeah,
I may
totally.
lash out and just be reflecting upon my own self. And,
Yeah,
I
totally.
should, by now I feel like I should know that and not respond in that
Yeah.
way. But, absolutely, it's, nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
I wish I could say that I always remember to keep that peace of mind in every single situation, but there's always growth. There's always growth to
Let's see,
be.
you're an Aquarius, so in your third wave. So I mean, usually I don't get many Aquarians connected with the Pleiades, but sometimes I do. But it's not like one of the common, because sometimes I like to see trends with zodiac signs and things like and astrology, but I do sometimes get some Aquarians that are connected to the Pleiades because they're pioneers. They're coming on this planet to change systems. You're actually, I would say, kind of between second wave and third wave. I would say you're probably very early third wave. So you're a system builder. And Aquarians are all about creating new systems, so I think that definitely fits for you. The other star system I saw that you were connected with was Maya. Okay. Maya was very different from Alcyon. Alcyon was kind of like this bustling, a lot of things going on, very balanced divine masculine feminine energies. So they had Starfleet Command. They had a lot of technology on Alcyon, but Maya was very different. It was very divine feminine, and Maya was all about spirituality, particularly that involves combining spirituality with nature. So shamanism is a concept that probably evolved from Maya, and
Now, is
are
that
you
in Sirius? Is that where Maya is? Is that
No,
us?
Maya is actually in the Pleiades.
Oh, in the
So
Pleiades.
it's
Okay, I
yeah, it's
just
part of
trying to
It's
clarify
part of
there.
the whole Pleiades asteroid.
Okay.
And so I do see some lifetimes where um I keep seeing that you did some sort of activation work, where it was kind of light activation or something to that effect, which I think you'll eventually move into doing maybe here on Earth, but but right now, I think mostly what you're doing is you're trying to expand consciousness, so you're trying to help people remember, help them, get the information out, so you're kind of this conduit of information at this point, but I see you actually developing more of your own modality or more your own style where it's going to not be, it's going to be talking to people on,
Potentially
on a podcast.
abilities or gifts and things.
Yeah, I think you're going to be developing
You
your own gifts,
it's
so,
funny that you say that because I do I've always meditated, but I've never been
mhm,
able to get to that theta state of
mhm.
low brain waves, low breaths until the past couple of years, which,
Yeah.
that's been a huge, huge part of my life, past few years, is, my meditations have been completely transcendental. When and it's now within my control. I can kind of decide to or not to.
Yeah, totally.
Sometimes I go into trance without, wanting to, and I end up not wasting, but, 3 or 4 hours goes by that I was like, oh no, I have things I wanted to do that I guess I just sat in theta state,
Mhm.
for lack of a better term,
Yeah.
through. But yeah, I mean, that's something that did not happen to me before. And now I sit for, a 15 or 20-minute meditation.
Mhm.
It's not uncommon to stay there for 3 hours, and
Oh, really? Wow.
it's
Oh.
kind of, I mean, it's very much, so I know that I'm very anecdotally and personally, there's some sort of like endogenous, DMT releases.
Oh
I
yeah.
have
Oh yeah. Totally. Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
I've experienced that in
Oh
its
yeah.
true form and in ayahuasca ceremonies with shaman and stuff.
Yeah. I gotcha.
So I have at least familiarity with that feeling, and yeah, now a 3-hour trance state feels not quite as intense, of course, but
Mhm.
it's very similar to, a place that I can't really describe, that I'm very happy to be. And it's just, wow, holy wow. When it's over, then it just kind of goes away. It's very hard to describe. Um, they're just, they get more controllable, one, and, well, yeah, two, they can become more intense, which is kind of
Yeah.
never
Absolutely.
a bad way.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of worried if that's good.
Yeah.
I try not to worry about things, but I
Yeah.
can't help it.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see what else the records are showing me here. The thing that they keep going back to is that you don't like routines. You I think that's why you left the working world, because you like to have autonomy over your schedule, and
100%.
that might be why you were attracted to a music career, because a music career is always different every single day. You're not playing the same gigs or whatever, but
Oh yeah, I
I
used to
do.
change show times once I had enough clout. If it was supposed to
Yeah,
be 8, but I wasn't ready, I'd be like, it's 9. Sorry, guys.
yeah, exactly. No, it's like yeah,
A little
Pleiadians
cocky
see
back in the day.
8 to 9 to 5. They do.
That's
So
like
a lot of
that's
times they
kind
end
of
up,
good to hear.
kind of freelancing it, or they might have their own businesses, or they might just, do what you're doing, or do like a spiritual career, because then they have more autonomy over their schedule.
That's interesting.
I'm trying to. I don't really see much of a Lyra connection with you, though. I don't know if
Yeah, that's one
uh
that I've been not trying to let anything on, but that's one that I
yeah,
don't feel any
I
connection
don't feel
to.
I don't get any kind of Lyra incarnations. It doesn't mean that you're not an ancient soul or anything. It just means that you're probably part of a soul group that was assigned to the Pleiades, and that's where you had your first incarnations. I think the Syrian, I don't even know if your Syrian connections were actually an incarnation in Sirius, or maybe you were there helping the Syrians with something. It's kind of hard to tell, but
Unclear.
the only other star system that is coming up for me right now, and we probably need to wrap it up, because at some point you
Yeah,
probably
of
need to end your
course. Yeah,
show, but
your time is valuable. I'm happy that you've given
yeah,
so
no,
much of it, Debbie.
I'm trying to get in as much information as I can, but I do see Apollonia. And
Money.
Apollonia is an interesting little star system that is not part of the Pleiades, but it is part of the
Making.
Taurus constellation.
Interesting.
And you're actually not going to find a star system or anything that's called Apollonia, like on a star map, but
You gotta stop
it,
dealing with it.
yeah,
Uh,
it's just something I saw in the records, and I know Joe Amidon talks about Apollonia, and other people talked about it, but
Okay, interesting.
it was a it was kind of, and I'm not even sure if it's a planet or a other reality, but it's a civilization
Sure.
where people went to incarnate, to really develop their creative abilities. So if you were an artist,
A
that's what
nature's
you did in Apollonia.
playground, a
Yeah,
lab for creativity, so to
yeah,
speak.
kind of like
That's
that.
funny. That's
So
something I've kind of had like visions of, like
yeah,
almost like where there's nothing besides just nature and
yeah,
creative
you're just hanging out,
material and
doing your
alchemy and magic and just
magic and
creativity.
creative, and that's what Apollonia was like. They didn't really have any government or any structure to their civilization. It was more like kind of a free flow, like, hey, I'm just going to express myself today, but
Very very free love,
yeah, free
free
love, kind of like
whatever.
the hippie, the
The
hippies,
hippie
thing.
movement.
Yeah, hippie movement in the 1960s, but
Yeah.
yeah, so and interestingly enough, the Apollonians used to love to express themselves with fashion and clothes, so, some people, not saying this is you, but some people that have had incarnations might dress up in colorful clothes or, or more elaborate clothing because they want to try to express themselves.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
Crazy
Yeah.
occasionally.
Sometimes, yeah, for Halloween or whatever, it's not
Depends on
but
the mood,
yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm getting. I'm going to go ahead
That was
and,
really actually very in depth, Debbie. So
oh,
thank
thank
you
you. Thank
so
you.
much for that. And just to clarify,
No, and
everybody
yeah,
who's
can you imagine what people get in a 75-minute
in
reading?
like a long session like that, I was blown away.
Yeah.
It's a lot of and a lot of it very spot on.
Oh,
I mean, as
thank you.
far
Thank
as
you.
just my general personality and my general way and the way I lead. But just real
Yeah,
quick for
definitely.
everybody.
The other thing I saw too is this kind of turquoisey auric field, which is usually indicative of Pleiadian connections. So next time you're at the metaphysical fair, just get an aura picture done and see what colors pop up.
See if
But
it's turquoise. Hopefully it is. Yeah, I'd stay on that
yeah,
track.
yeah,
It's
you have a
interesting.
very creative soul. So I'm going to do a
You have
little
a very
closing prayer and then
high.
we'll wrap it up. So you always know
That
that
sounds
comes
great for
forever.
me. Absolutely.
Yeah. I would like to thank the masters, teachers, and loved ones for their love and compassion. I would like to thank the Lord of the Akashic Records for their point of view. I would like to thank the Holy Spirit of Light for all knowledge and healing. The records are not closed, amen. The records are not closed, amen. The records are not closed, amen. Your energy goes with you, my energy stays with me. Thank you, Tyler, and I hope that reading was insightful on some level. So
It
yeah.
was very insightful. It
But
was
yeah.
you said a mini reading and that was great. That
Oh, thank
was
you. Thank you.
honestly more than I expected.
Thank you.
Debbie just read for anybody who didn't hear it. Debbie just did a small Akashic Records reading on me. The Akashic Records, if I'm not mistaken, are basically the universal records of
Of everything
everything.
that's ever happened and everything. For anything, so
For everything, yeah.
everything, yes. So,
Debbie Solaris, it's been great to have
oh, it's
you.
been great to be here. Thank you so much. I feel like
Pleasure's
with you
all
and Jane, like you and the three of us have done this work before, another
yeah,
system,
a
but
couple Instagram lives and
I
things,
don't
maybe
know.
on the
Yeah, who knows?
Pleiades.
Yeah, got a Pleiadian version anyway, but
Pleiadian version of something like that.
yeah. But anyway, many
Yeah.
blessings to you and many blessings to your listeners and your followers and
You and yours as well.
yeah,
And
thank
any of the events Debbie mentioned, any of the links to her websites and things like that, that'll all be in the bio of this. This will be up on YouTube for video and Spotify for audio. Yeah, you'll have all the information in the bio. And I'm your host, Tyler, of the Immersive Podcast. Another great guest I'm honored to speak with. Debbie, would you like to sign off with anything?
No, just that we're moving closer and closer to becoming part of the greater galactic family, and that's our mission, So many blessings to all of you. Take care.
Perfect. So perfect. Debbie, very, very sweet to talk to you. Thank you. Have a
Thank you.
great rest of your day.
Thank you.